So, we've all seen them before, countless videos or articles that tell you how to save money on flight tickets. Well, almost all of them are just copy-paste tips from people simply trying to create more content. That's why we wanted to share our tips that stem from our own experience, and I think you'll find these quite useful, especially the secret unethical life pro tip that we'll add in the end of the video. Tip number 1 and 2. The first two tips I want to bring up together, and they might sound familiar, but I bring these two tips up to clear some misinformation you get when reading other online articles. So the two tips I want to discuss are looking for tickets through Skyscanner and looking for tickets on a Tuesday. While these two tips are valid, what you should know before following this advice is how the algorithm of Skyscanner works, because you might actually be helping other people and bring yourself in a disadvantage by searching for tickets the wrong way, that is. There are thousands of flights to thousands of destinations every day. Skyscanner can't, or won't, show you all the accurate prices every time because it would have to do too many searches on its own to be able to show you the most accurate prices of each flight and each destination. That's why it relies on you to do the search. What you might not know though is that if you look for a flight for, say, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia to Brussels, Belgium, the 5th of August, where previously no prices were known, it will find out what the cheapest flights are and make those available not only to you, but to anyone looking for cheap flights. This means that once you find a cheap flight, it's a gamble to keep waiting and looking for cheaper flights because someone else might snatch those up from under your nose. Our tip for searching Skyscanner correctly: only look for tickets on a Tuesday, because then you know that whatever ticket you uncover will be the cheapest of that week and no one else will be able to snatch it up from under you. Why Tuesday? Because that's when airlines release their cheapest rates. Towards the end of the week, they become more expensive to make up for the cheaper rates released in the beginning of the week. Tip number 3. Now that you know about the first two tips, the third one will help you find even cheaper flights on the dates that you found the cheapest tickets already. Use everything you have to find tickets. Sometimes they're cheaper through Skyscanner, the airline's app, the airline's website, or you can even find cheaper tickets by looking for the same tickets through the same website or app, but from a different device. So when you find a $100 ticket on your tablet or PC, you might actually find that those tickets are even cheaper when you look for them on your mobile phone. Tip number 4. This next tip is great not only to save money on plane tickets, but to save money in general. We pay $140 a year for a credit card that gives us 1% cashback on any payment we make. We can get multiple cards, so my girlfriend and I share the same account, and what happens is when we book a flight, which often costs us $500 to $1,000 each, we get 1% of the cost back. Now, while this isn't a big game changer for some, it does count up when you look at all the other purchases we make throughout the year. Granted, you need to spend $13,400 a year to pay back the card, but first of all, that does not only have to be on plane tickets. And second, you don't only get 1% cashback, but you also don't pay any ATM costs up until $600 a month. And what's more is that you get late flight insurance that pays up to $400 for flights that have at least 4 hours of delay, a late luggage insurance that pays up to $400 of luggage for luggage that is 4 hours or more late, and an emergency medical insurance. And on top of that, you get one free lounge access, which on its own costs $30. So for us, it really pays itself back and helps us save money in the long run. Plus, it's a super safe and convenient card. Tip number 5. Best sites to scan for tickets. The reason why Skyscanner is the best all-round site is because it's the most used one. The other one really worthy of checking out is Google Flights, because Google knows everything about everyone. Besides those two though, also check out Kayak and Cheap Flights, and when we find a ticket provider through any of those websites that has the cheapest tickets, we make sure to go to that website directly for example, Vayama.com, and check for tickets through that website as well. Another great piece of advice is to check that your tickets have actually been confirmed, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation that a third-party seller didn't actually confirm the tickets you bought with the airline. Tip number 6. Upgrading your ticket versus paying for extra luggage. Sometimes, not often, it can be more interesting to get something like Economy Flex because it gives you more legroom, more luggage, better food, than paying crazy amounts for just some extra luggage. But even if that doesn't work, we have a pretty unethical last tip that we'll share with you about overhead luggage at the end of the video. Tip number 7 and 8. Go to airline websites or apps and look for promo deals. Whether your destination is not set in stone yet or you're just looking for cheaper tickets, always check airline websites to find special promos or deals that might not show up through third-party scanners. Tip number 8 in this regard is calling up the airline and asking the operator for a discount. Make the operator work for you. It's their job and they might have the best insights in the field. You yourself are spending so much time finding cheap tickets online. Now ask the operator to look behind the scenes to find some hidden gems for you. Tip number 9, use the anywhere, anytime feature. This piggybacks on tip 1 and 2, and I explained how others can use your search results to find and book tickets. But now with the anywhere, anytime feature on sites such as Kayak or Cheap Flights, you can set up a notification to keep you up to date with the latest findings from other users. This notifies you when someone found a really cheap ticket on one of the routes that you selected to track. And now tip number 10 is a bit unethical and you might not approve of it, so if you liked the video so far, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel related videos before we go on with the next and final tip. Sometimes when your overhead luggage is too heavy, you risk paying extra at check-in. Often the limit is 7 kilograms or 15 pounds, so what do you do to avoid surcharges at the counter when they weigh your extra luggage? Well, if you're with your partner, friend or travel buddy, check in one by one and take out the excess weight from one backpack and put it in your friend's backpack while you go to the counter and check yourself in. Then, when you're checked in and it's your partner's turn, simply swap the excess weight from one backpack to your already approved backpack and your friend will now be able to check in with a backpack that does not exceed the weight limitations. This is a great way to avoid extra costs, and while it's not 100% ethical, it's definitely something to consider when you're trying to save a bit of money. Now that's it for our 10 tips. Don't forget to subscribe as we plan out rolling an entire series on this subject that will surely save you time and money. Also check us out on Instagram by looking for Nathan and Laurence videos or Nathan and Laurence to follow our adventures there. And as always, see you soon and see you later.